Hi Flosstube, my name is Amy and this is X Stitching and Adventures. Thanks for coming back. It's been a really long time since I made a video. I think it's been like a month and a half. But in my defense, I was in the home stretch of finishing out the school year and just trying to survive to summer vacation. I was still stitching. I just haven't had a lot of time to sit down and make a video for you. I have had a finish, and I've had a couple of fully finished objects that I've done that I want to share with you today. I've been stitching on some new starts and some sals and some whips. I did kind of participate in my own version of Mira May, and so I'll share with you some of my progress on my Miras. I know a lot of you really enjoy seeing the fancy ladies, and I love stitching them, so I'm happy to show them. I have a little bit of haul, a little bit of like stitchy kindness and birthday presents, and so I'll show a little bit of that at the end, and then we'll talk about adventures too that I've been up to. But first, let's start with some FFOs. Last time we were together, I showed you my finish of Moon Garden, and since that time, I was able to find a ton of frames super, super, super cheap, like on clearance. And I just kind of went a little crazy. I bought several of them to keep in stash because I'm definitely going to use them. But this is one that I found to finish Moon Garden in. Before it was like it hung like this. It had like a saying about coffee in it, something kind of stupid like rise and shine, it's coffee time or something like that. And so I just took my finish and I mounted it on some foam core and pinned it. And then I used double-sided tape to just stick it into there. So it still has the same back, and I just stuck it in there. And it worked really good. It's like in there tight enough that it feels pretty solid. But I am really, really pleased with this one. I loved stitching this project, and I love how it's finished up. I feel like the kind of rustic-y wood look really complements some of the yellows in there. So that's Moon Garden. And I lent Jordan, the tattooed stitcher, this chart, and I think she's going to start it soon. So I am so excited to see her interpretation of it because she's stitching it as called for. And I did my own conversion. So like I used a lot more variegated floss in the flowers and the border, and then the yellow, and let's see here. Actually, I think the yellow is the only one that wasn't variegated because even this purpley one had some variegation in it. So I'm excited to see how it turns out as called for too. Excited to see her project. Let me put this behind me actually so the cats don't get into it. And then the other one that I'm going to show you is a finish and a fully finished object. However, I fully finished it and then realized I probably need to do a little bit of a better job fully finishing it because I forgot to put some beads in one part and it's a little wrinkly. But I finished Under the Friendship Tree by Mirabilia, and this chart is one that I started 2 years ago in July, and I started it with the intention of finishing it and then hanging it in my office. I had just recently quit my job of 9 years, and I was like in my like home stretch of leaving, and I was having all sorts of complicated feelings about it. And I thought, I'm gonna stitch this and I'm gonna hang it in my new office someday. And I am just so excited to put it in there. Like I manifested it, it happened, and I'm so happy at my new job. So here is Under the Friendship Tree. The fabric is Autumnal Woodland by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. And then it's a Lugana 32 count. I think it was a fabric of the month sort of deal in her club, but you might be able to order it still. It's such a beautiful fabric. And then it's all stitched in DMC, and there were only 2 different bead colors. So there's kind of this red, orangey, and then the gold. The DMC list is very long on this one. So just a heads up, if you kit this one up, it's gonna take a little bit. But I am so pleased with it. Last time that you saw this, it looked like, here, I'll put a picture right here. It looked like that, and so I actually made quite a bit of progress on it. I just kind of got this like bee in my bonnet to get it done, and I kept working on it, and it happened. So I'll bring this a little bit closer so you can see. I don't want to bring it too close though, because it is a little wrinkly. I thought I pinned it and I kind of stretched it, and I thought I could stretch the wrinkles out of it, but there are a few of them in there. I love, love, love the apples, the colors in the apples, and the gold beads up in the apples, like the leaves falling from the tree. I think it's such a fun touch. The back stitching on their faces is just so lovely. And all the colors in their little dresses are so fun. I love this one. I had a couple different frames that I, kind of debated over and asked a few people, like, what should I do? But I ultimately decided to do this one because it was just kind of simple, and it kind of gave like old schoolhouse vibe, which I feel like this design is just screaming, right? Like cute little girls under an apple tree, like it's totally old schoolhouse. But yeah, there's Under the Friendship Tree. I'm so excited. I just kind of taped it up in the back because I'm still not fully committed to not like pulling it out and putting the 3 beads that I missed in. We'll see. I may enter that one in the fair. It would go in the unspecified category because it's stitched on Lugana, and they don't have a category for that or for even weave. So it may go in there. What else should I show you now? Let's see. I'll show you my birthday start. When I was at Stitch West with Bernadette and Jordan and Rocio and everybody, I decided to kit up every opening flower. I think both Brenda and I bought this stuff for it. And this is by Brenda Gervais. I am stitching it on a mystery linen that I bought while I was there. I'm not exactly sure who the dyer is. And I'm stitching it as called for. And I just got a little tiny start. This is a 36 count. And the flosses are a combination of Gentle Arts, Classic Colorworks, and it looks like Weeks. So that's every opening flower. And I will probably keep stitching on this a little bit throughout the summer, but I don't have any goals to like hurry and finish this one up. I am just gonna enjoy the process. I really like the colors, I like the fabric. I just think that the whole design is so pretty. I was watching somebody the other day and they had recently finished it, or they were working on it, and it was so pretty. So that's every opening flower. It is in my folio that I got at Stitch West from Beehive Stitcher, and it is just so nice. Such a great folio. Okay, let me move this one over here, and then I'll show you my other Mira May project. This also coincided with the premiere of Bridgerton season 3. This is my Bridgerton project. I started this back in 2020, I think. Was it 2020 or was it 21? It was at the very end of 2020 when Bridgerton premiered. And so it's been a whip for several years now. Let me take this little Clay by Kim off of it. But when it was Mira May, that's the Clay by Kim that is on there. When it was Mira May, I thought, oh, this is perfect. I'll stitch on this one and I'll get my Bridgerton stitches into it since it's the Bridgerton project. But this is Wherefore Art Thou by Nora Corbett. It's actually not a Mirabilia because it was a stitch along with Casa Cenina, but I count it in my list of Miras because it's big and it's the same designer. But this is Juliet, and I am so happy with the progress I made on this. I actually think I could finish it this year. If I get motivated enough and I pull it out for the second half of Bridgerton, I think I could get some pretty good progress and potentially have another finish this summer. We'll see. The last time you saw her, she didn't have all of her dress done down here, and more of that has been filled in. Not all of it, but a lot of it. And then I pulled the balcony down on both sides a little bit, and I pulled this side, the purple and the flowers, down quite a bit. And it is so wrinkly. I really should have my board out for you guys. But oh, I just love this one so much. So that's Wherefore Art Thou. It will get more love later this month when we get to see the second half of the season. I had a little watch party with my mom. Yes, I watched Bridgerton with my mom. And my brother, who has never watched Bridgerton ever, like this was his first exposure to it. And then my friend Rachel, who lives over by my parents, we all just got together for 2 nights and we watched the whole season. And there is like a baker here in town that had done a Bridgerton themed box for like cookies and macarons and scones. And so I bought that box kind of as like a little snack box to help us celebrate while we were watching. And it looked like this. It was so cute. Hopefully I can put a picture up. We'll see. Let's see. Let me move this one out of the way. Another whip that I've put some stitches into since I last saw you is my Hands Across the Sea sampler. I'm working on the rose and the giant pear. This was a new year, new start for me this year. I got the Vicki Clayton silks for Christmas, which are just gorgeous, by the way. I'll show you. They're in this Forbidden Fiber Co. bag. I need to figure out if I want to take them off of the spools. I know that several of my friends do that, but so far they're just in their little spools. But man, they are so vibrant. This is one that I've been stitching with, the OMG Red. So pretty. Okay, so I'll show you the project. It's stitched on a 36 count Moby Dick by Wabi Sabi linens. Wabi Sabi linens, yeah. And with those Vicki Clayton silks. So here is a little bit of progress. It's not a lot, but I had the teeniest, tiniest start. And so it's more than what it had. But I am just loving it. This one has like the big red house, and then off to the side here is a giant pear, and over here is a rose. So hence the name, the rose and the giant pear. And then it's got a repeating border. This one will be so fun and so lovely when it's done, and actually pretty small. Like, it's not very wide. It's probably like that, and then long-ish. It might fill up the length of the nerge. So it'll be a fun one. I worked on another one of my sals just a little bit. This was a project that I put a few stitches into in the car while I was coming back from a trip, an adventure over in Boise. But this is the French Kitchen Apples and Sage. I'm stitching this one with Cheryl from Garnet Rose Stitchers. I think her business is Star Garnet Stitchery or Quilting or something like that. I'll have to look it up and put it in the description box, but she's awesome. I'm really excited to see her again this summer. I'm going to the retreat that Maggie's on Main is hosting in Boise, and so I'll get to see her and Jeanette and several of my Boise friends, so that'll be really fun. But I just put a little bit more stitching into this one. It's nothing to brag about, but just to kind of invite you all again to our French Kitchen Sal. If you have any of these, there's apples and sage, blueberries and thyme, strawberries and mint, pear and rosemary. And then like the main box one that has just kind of ingredients on it, and it says Cuisine Francais. If you have any of those and you want to work on them with us, please join our sal. We're having a lot of fun with it. I'm hoping to get back to this one this summer. It stitches up so fast. So I think if I just put it in the rotation a few times, I can have it finished up. And it's nice to stitch on in the car because it's on like a 32 or a 28. Like, it's big, so it's easy. Let me scoop my water over so I don't accidentally knock that over. Let's see here. Oh, I had another new start. Some of my friends, we decided to do a Hawk Run Hollow Zoom sal. And so I decided to finally start Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. I've had this pattern in my stash for a very long time, and I've admired it, but I've been kind of hesitant to start it because it is a VAP. Like, it is a huge project. And I know, like, I have, rational thinking of if I just start it and put stitches in, it will eventually get done. But sometimes that hesitation, that it's a huge project takes over, and I just hadn't got it started yet. So I decided to start that one for our Zoom sal. I got a teeny tiny little start. I've only put stitches in while we were Zooming. This is 40 count Selkie from Under the Sea Fabrics. This little minder is a clay by Kim from several years ago, And I just started right in the center with the cauldron. And I did have a little bit more done, and then I had to pick it out because I miscounted while we were all stitching together. I need to just count out and then have some fill in, and that would be way better. But unfortunately, I had to frog a little bit. This is just stitched in the DMC. I know that I think it's called for with NPI, but for a project that large, nope, doing DMC. It'll be just fine. It'll still be gorgeous. I think that's all that I've worked on and started, but I do have some projects to share with you that I'm gonna be starting here soon. And so let me get into that. Oh wait, no, this is one more. Hold on. This is a sal that I'm doing with Jordan, the tattooed stitcher. She is doing the spring heart. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but they're both from the Blue Flower. I have the Cottage Garden threads and the pattern for the Hearts for Pam box, and so I am going to stitch this Australian one. And I love the animals in it. I love the colors. I started it back, let's see, it was the 1st or the 2nd of June. I started it, but I really am not loving the fabric that I pulled for it. I don't have a lot of 40 count in my stash, and so I just pulled kind of like an off-white one from Fortnite Fabrics, and I got stitching into it, and I'm like, you know what, it will look great with a lot of these colors, but not with the yellowy whites of like the parrot. Here, let me show you. I think the parrot is in this color, Page Turner, and this is my fabric. And so, I mean, it would look okay, but I don't know. I'm not super keen on this fabric. I kind of want it on the blue. I put the tiniest little start in and was like, nah. But I may come back to this. We'll see. I might do a little bit more stitching and then make a full decision, or I might just wait for my next paycheck to come in and buy some blue 40 count. We'll see. But I did start that, Jordan. I did. She's told me that, you know, I'm kind of a lazy Sal starter with her, and it's true. I get very busy and then I don't always start on time. But Jordan started ahead of time on this one. I started on the right day, and I did actually start it. Okay, what other ones should I show you? I'll show you some of my haul. I placed an order with Stacy, Thread the Needle Stitchery down in Florida. She was having a 40% off sale, and so I bought some fabric and a couple of patterns from her. I got a cut of Vapors, 36 count from Atomic Ranch. I haven't stitched a ton on Atomic Ranch. I think I've only ever stitched on Freeze, but I loved it, so I'm excited to try this one, and I love that color. Just kind of a nice, like, gray, kind of a bluey gray. And then I also couldn't resist this one. I have so much 32 count. I don't know why I bought more 32 count, but this is Artemis in 32 count. And I just feel like a Mira or a Bella or some Pixies would just be so gorgeous on this one. I don't know which ones yet, but I think it could be really pretty. It's very dark. I mean, you can tell like that's gonna be a little tricky to stitch on, but it is a 32 count, so it won't be quite as bad. And then I bought all of the Jeanette Douglas budding bouquets that I've been admiring for a little while. So this is autumn. This one is winter. Oh, geez. Let's see. There we go. A little bit better. And then spring and summer. And I don't have any plans to start these just yet, but I am excited to have like a little seasonal small rotation to work through. And then one other thing that I have got, like as far as haul goes, came from Bernadette, and that was, here, let me grab it behind me. She went to Japan and picked up some Cosmo flosses, which I needed for my wizard cat that I bought from Lindy Stitches for one of my market purchases. And it's kitted in Cosmo. There is a DMC conversion, But she was so sweet, and she reached out to me before she went to Japan and was like, do you want me to pick up your flosses? I'm like, yes, please. So she went and grabbed all the Cosmos. These are on floss tags and with some floss jewelry that she got me for my birthday. So it has like a cute little cat on a moon. And then here's all the Cosmo flosses. I think they are really soft and really vibrant. I think it's gonna be so pretty. I haven't picked a fabric yet. I have, like where it's mostly full coverage, I do have an Ada that's kind of opalescent and sparkly that might work well with it, but I'm also kind of like, I don't think I want to stitch it on a Ada. So I don't know, we'll see. I have a ton of 32 count and 28 count, so I'll probably just pick one of those and do 2/2. And then in that same package, Berna lent me the Hobbit house, fabulous house from Cottage Garden this year. I mentioned when we were at Stitch West that I was thinking of picking up the pattern, and she was like, I just got it in my club, I'll send it to you. I haven't decided fully when I'm starting this, but she didn't like give me a deadline. She's like, it's not on my radar yet, so when it is, I will either send it back or hurry and stitch it, but I'll hope to start this maybe later this year. And then, actually, I'm gonna put that there. I have another planned start, aside from my Wizard Cat. I hope to start that one soon. But I also plan to start Venetian Lion by Dirty Annie's. I got this one at Stitch West, and I was finally able to buy all of the Rainbow Gallery Silk Lame. I did have to sub in a different gold because the one that I wanted that was called for has been out of stock for a long time. And honestly, it took so long to order these because there was always at least a couple of them out of stock. I got lucky one day and most of them were there. A lot of these reds are so similar. They look a little different in person, but not a lot. Like I could have gotten away with having these two be the same color for sure. But there's that. And then here's the blues. And then the gold that I subbed in. And I have all the DMC floss, and then they will be in here. And I'm gonna stitch it on Nutmeg by Color and Cotton, a 36 count. I am hopeful that this Silk Lame braid is not too thick for a 36 count, because I just wanna do, it's just one strand, and I'm planning on doing one strand of DMC. So we'll see when I pull it out. If it is, I do have a 32 count gingerbread that's similar colors that I could switch to, but I'm hoping to stitch it on a 36. This is a bag I already had from Jen's Custom Bags, or Jasmine Custom Bags. I can't remember. I think that's what her business is called. And it's an Alexander Henry print. My Widow Frog used to live in here, and then I finished it, so it was open for a new project. Speaking of Jen, I did order from her since I last saw you. She had this gorgeous fabric with all these vegetables, and I reached out to her and I said, can you make me a bag if you have enough fabric for that? And she was like, yes, I can. So she sent me this gorgeous bag with the purples and the pinks, and then it's got this purpley fabric inside. And purple is my favorite color, so it worked out just perfectly. I am hoping to start, what is it called? The Country Sampler? Or Garden Sampler, I think that's what it is, from Carriage House Samplings, the one that has the alphabet and all of the things growing in the garden that match the alphabet. And I think that this would be a perfect bag for that one. So I'm hoping to start that one maybe this summer. For my birthday, my sister surprised me, and she and I, when I saw her last, we went to this thrift store in Boise that is like a craft specific thrift store, and we found all these Sudbury House trays that someone had donated, and they were like in great condition. Like, as you can tell, this one was still in the plastic a little bit, and I was so tempted at the time, but I was like, ugh, I don't need them. I have so many frames at home, like sitting there waiting, you know, for other projects. I should use those first. But they were a really good price, and I was like, ugh, but I didn't pull the trigger, and so she went back and got them for me for my birthday. So I have this serving tray with this wood finish. Maybe I'll show you this side so you can see it a little better. So really beautiful. And then it's got this open circle for your stitching, so you can finish it in a tray. And then there was this other one here too that I've got to show you that is so old-fashioned and 70s, and I just love it. I mean, maybe it's not 70s, but it kind of has that vibe. So it's got the handles here, and it's longer. It used to have glass here, I think, but no longer. But it's in fantastic shape, and I am really excited to finish something in here and just have it be really pretty and lovely, and put it in my sewing room. So that'll be great. Okay, I think we've made it through all of the stitching, and so I'm going to talk a little bit about my adventures. I know some of you are not here for that, so we're done talking about stitching. See you next time. But if you are interested, I'll just share a little bit about what I've been up to. Back in the end of April, early May, I'm trying to remember exactly when it was. I think it was early May. Several friends and I went over into the Boise area. We actually went over into Oregon, and we did a hot springs paddleboarding trip. It was in the Owyhees, I think. Oh, I cannot remember. Owyhee Reservoir, maybe. I don't remember exactly. But we paddled. It was really windy. We strapped all of our gear onto our paddle boards, and we paddled across the reservoir and around a bend a little bit into an area where there is a hot spring. And so we camped there overnight, and we soaked in the hot spring. And it was rainy and windy, but it was just such a blast. And it was so gorgeous. That next morning was just lovely. I was up before everybody else, so I went and soaked a little bit in the morning, and then everybody else kind of joined before we paddled back out. And that was really fun. I did that with, I think my friend Carl organized it, and my friend Craig and I were able to go, and Sid and her boyfriend Russ and several other friends. We got to meet up with a friend that lives over in Boise too. And unfortunately, one of my friends and I, we were supposed to drive over together, and she got sick the night before and wasn't able to go. So that was a real bummer, but it was still just an awesome trip. And then I've also been able to enjoy a lake day already here in Idaho Falls. My family and I, we go up to Blacktail Reservoir, and we paddleboard, and we brought my dad's new boat. He has like a hunting boat. I know that sounds kind of contradictory, like hunting and boat, but it's one that he'll have like a blind over when he does goose and duck hunting in the fall. So we took that up and we tried that out, and we had the dogs up there, and it was gorgeous and lovely. Let's see here. I also have done another kind of fancy event. I'm a lifetime member at the Museum of Idaho, and every time they have a new exhibit come through, they invite they call us VIPs, and they really treat us very swanky, but they have a big VIP opening exhibit party. And they had that last weekend for their new exhibit called Above and Beyond, and it's a flight exhibit, and it was so fun. I took my brother as my plus one. He loves getting dressed up and going out with me, and so we went out and had a great time. My friend Katie is a jazz singer around town, and so she and her band, the Dewdroppers, were there singing. And then I ran into some coworkers while I was there. So it was just fun. It was a nice night out to get dressed up, enjoy some nice hors d'oeuvres and some wine, and see the new exhibit at the museum. And then last weekend, I also went to Beerfest. Here in Idaho Falls, we have the North American Brewers Association's Beerfest. We host that at our Sandy Downs every year, and it is such a good time. My friend was going on a trip with his girlfriend and won tickets, and so he gave them to me, and I was able to go and enjoy Beerfest. Tried lots of different things, enjoyed the sunshine. Miraculously for Idaho Falls, it was not too windy that day, because it's been super, super windy. In fact, I'd gone camping the weekend before, and I think it was like gusting winds for all but like 2 hours. But for some reason that day it was not. It was perfect, which was great because we were right by the sand dunes. So that would not have been as fun if it had been windy. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Thank you for tuning in again and watching my Flosstube. I am just so, again, continuously overwhelmed by how positive and kind everybody has been. I've really enjoyed this process of joining the Flosstube community. And thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your likes. If you've heard me mentioned somewhere, please let me know. Please tell me where you're coming from so that I can reach out to that stitcher and thank them. And yeah, I'm just really, really grateful for everybody's support. If you have any questions about any of the projects that I'm working on, or if you're interested in joining any of the SALs that I mentioned, please reach out to me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is the same as my Flosstube, so it's xstitching and adventures. And you can reach me there, or you can comment on this video and I will try to respond to you pretty speedily. Thanks for everything. I really am just having a great time. I'm hoping to be back a little bit more consistently this summer with Flosstubes. Hopefully it's not another like 6 to 7 weeks like it was last time, because I'm gonna have a lot more time. Now I'm on my summer break and I am just super excited about having more stitching time, starting more projects, hopefully finishing some of those projects, and having lots of adventures. So anyway, have a great stitching summer and I will see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.